Now for our first local story. When you think of Lloydminster roads at this time of year, you're probably thinking ice. But at a recent council meeting, the city announced that they're looking ahead and working to update their street sweeping policy. The new draft policy includes only minor changes from the existing one that's been in place since 2013. Highways in the downtown will be swept 4 times a year. Priority 2 roads will be done 3 times a year, while residential and commercial roads will be done once or as required.
There's a few adjustments that needed to be made within there, but it's not affecting the service levels of the street sweeping.
When street sweeping in residential areas, the city will post signage 36 hours before crews arrive. Most activity will take place in the spring, but the city is also prepared to sweep if needed in the fall.
Comments about the fall. Why are they out there street sweeping in October? Well, that's to keep stuff out of our stormwater drains, and you don't want your property to flood. So if that stormwater drain is covered with frozen leaves, that water needs to go somewhere, and it might go into your property. So there are a lot of maintenance pieces involved with street sweeping, not just the general, we need to keep our streets clean.
Each year, the city will review the past season's street sweeping operation and make adjustments accordingly. After a string of chilly days that we've recently seen, the Lloydminster Social Action Coalition Society is reminding border residents of their coldest night of the year fundraiser. With more on their plans, here's Jasmine King.
It's been minus 30s and 40s, and the need at our shelter is greater than ever this year. Just because of that, we literally keep people alive in the winter.
The coldest night of the year is a fundraiser which raises money for people who are less fortunate in the community. Participants walk a route in Lloydminster so they can experience what it feels like to be on the streets and in the cold.
We all walk together across the country to support people in need, homeless, hungry, hurting people. And all money raised in each community stays in that community. So for Lloydminster, it's the Social Action Coalition Society. We run the drop-in center, men's shelter, second stage housing at different times.
The event this year takes place February 26th at Bud Miller Park. Last year, the event was virtual, but that didn't stop walkers from raising $26,000. They're hoping they can match that goal again this year.
We provide all services. Every item that we give, food, warm clothing, toiletries, outreach support, absolutely everything we give for free. Nobody pays for a thing from our organization. So this is what helps us to provide all of those things that people need.
This fundraiser helps raise a lot of money they need for programs around the community. Registration is currently open for teams and walkers, and you can register up until the day of the walk.
It's a super easy website to navigate. So there's a drop-down menu, you find Lloyd, enter your team, enter yourself as an independent walker, or if you want to just donate, we've got a Lloydminster shelter home team going, so you can donate right to our team and we'll walk for you.
More information and registration is available at cnoy.org and search Lloydminster. Jasmine King, Primetime Local News.
The B. Fisher Bottle Depot was closed briefly this past weekend, but as our Thomas Wildman reports, they're back and ready for action.
Bay Fisher did not have the ideal start they would have liked for their year, as they had to shut down the bottle depot due to a COVID outbreak.
We had a bit of an issue with some illness within our team here out at the bottle depot, and just out of an abundance of caution, we felt it was the best thing that we could do, just to close the depot for a few days, let our team get healthy again, and they're back to that state, and so we reopened again on Monday. But yeah, we had to close for a few days, and it did give us an opportunity to do a little bit of maintenance work in the depot, so it wasn't all lost.
Despite this, Bay Fisher is hard at work for this upcoming year and have plenty of big plans for 2022.
Within B. Fisher, one of the big things that we're always trying to do is just find the resources to continue our operations, and there's certain operations that we do need to find the funding for ourselves and not through government sources. And so obviously the bottle depot is one of those revenue streams, but as well the B. Fisher Foundation, we look to do a few events and initiatives over the course of the year to raise some awareness and raise some funds for some of the projects that we want to undertake.
One of these new events will be an online auction that will take place in February. Bay Fisher will be announcing some more details soon. Thomas Wildman, Primetime, local news.
Now we'll toss to Nicole Gruber as she sat down with a member of the local Connect Club to talk about an upcoming event.
I'm joined here today with Wendy, one of the members of Connect Club of Lloydminster, to talk about their yogathon for cystic fibrosis. Now, Wendy, it's coming up in a few weeks' time. Do you mind telling us a little bit more about this event?
All right. So yes, we are going to host our first annual yogathon for cystic fibrosis. It'll be held Saturday, January 29th with, we will have, 8 classes running live at the Kinsman Hall, and then we'll have 3 virtual classes as well. So then everyone can sign up through our Connect's Facebook page, through the Connect's Glow Run. And then each class is $20 or 3 for $50.
And what is your goal you're hoping to hit for this fundraiser?
As it's our first year, we don't really have a goal. It would be great to, raise over a couple $1,000s. Right now, our registration is very low, so we're really hoping to push this week. We're going to have up to 15 people in each class at the hall. And then virtually, of course, we can have as many people as want to join. So it would be great to get a good turnout.
Who will be teaching at this event?
All right, we have Chrissy Davison is going to be doing it at 9 o'clock, Heather Donnelly at 10 o'clock, Kirsten Stang at 11, Megan Ratke at noon, Amanda Unrow at 1, Shauna Weinkoff at 2 o'clock, and Jordan Daytona at 3 o'clock. And then we'll have our 3 virtual ones, which Caprice Sherwood will do 9 o'clock and 1 o'clock, and Allison Fulkerith will do a noon virtual yoga.
So what is cystic fibrosis for those who don't know much about it?
All right. Now I wish I would have looked up some good notes for that too, but it affects your lungs, and it's like you're born with cystic fibrosis, live with it your whole life. There is no cure. We had a member of our Connect Club, Amy Gray Carroll, who had cystic fibrosis, and that's kind of what got us really pushed to do more fundraising in memory of her, because she passed away in 2013. So in 2014, we started bigger fundraisers, trying to do more raising money and awareness to the complications that come with cystic fibrosis.
Where can people sign up for this?
All right, so we have, you just sign up through like a Google form, and the link is on our Facebook page, which is, you can either go to the Connect Club of Lloydminster, and there's links from there, or to the Connect's Glow Run Yogathon.
Is there anything you would like people to know about this event?
Yeah, we're just like 1 week away for registration. So yeah, we're hoping to get a lot of people registered this week. And yeah, if you have any questions, just check out our Facebook page or our website as well at lloydminsterconnects.com.
Thank you so much for joining me here today.
Great. Well, thank you for inviting me.
Yesterday, we finished our broadcast and went out to our cars to discover that they were covered in ice. So, hoping for a little bit more optimism, let's check in with Jasmine King for your first look at weather.
Yes, Tate, thank you. That was not pleasant yesterday, having to scrape a lot of ice off of our cars, and we both almost slipped a few times, but we made it out safe. But it is still slippery out there, so make sure you know that before you head out. But right now in the border city, we are at minus 13 degrees, but with that wind chill, we are feeling closer to minus 21. But tonight the wind will get stronger, so expect closer to 50-kilometer-an-hour winds tonight. But speaking of right now around the region, we can see it's minus 13 in Vermilion, minus 10 in both Wainwright and Provost, minus 12 in Vegreville, minus 14 in St. Paul and Cold Lake. And Bonnyville is down at minus 17 degrees, but minus 17 continues on the Saskatchewan side in Pierceland, St. Walburg, Meadow Lake, and Green Lake. Maidstone is at minus 15, Macklin at minus 8, and Niagara Lacrosse is at minus 20. And looking into North Battleford, currently they are a little bit just sunny. We aren't sure right now. Our program's not the best sometimes, but minus 21 overnight with that snow coming down. So that's going to be moving across the Lloydminster into North Battleford area. And then minus 10 is their high tomorrow. So they will be improving from what they are seeing overnight. And looking into Cold Lake, they are sitting at -14 currently, so they have that current temperature, -20 tonight with that, again, that snow, and we can see pretty similar temperatures at -11 with that snow once again. But if we're looking into our 3-day forecast, here in the border city tomorrow, like I mentioned, snow. So we can expect that throughout the evening. A little bit closer tonight, we will start to see a bit of that snow, and then into the morning is when we will see that. And that continues on into Sunday when we have that mix of snow and rain, and then with a high of 4 degrees, so that's one of the warmest spots that we will see of the week. And then Monday, it's getting back down to -11 degrees, but no snow there, but that mix of sun and cloud. But that is a first look at your weather forecast for this hour, and we'll have more news coming up after the break.
Moose Jaw Warrior Jagger Furcus is sitting tied for 11th in WHL scoring, as well as 4th in the league in goals. To learn more about his success, here's Evan Kenny.
I'm pleased to be joined now by the leading scorer for the Moose Jaw Warriors of the WHL. He currently has 23 goals, 21 assists for 44 points in just 38 games. Local product hailing from Irma, Alberta. This is Jagger Furcus. Jagger, thank you very much for taking this time and joining me. Now, obviously, I just rattled off a bunch of your stats here so far this season, and very, very successful season thus far. I guess just what's been the key to success for you this year?
I think my biggest thing is obviously I come to the rink with a good attitude, and obviously I try to play my best games. I feel like I'm playing my best is when I'm having fun, and I think I've been doing that lately, and it's obviously great to see. And I think obviously my best part of that kind of stuff is just having fun. I think that's the biggest thing is you're not gonna be able to go anywhere with hockey because it's obviously a long career, and you gotta have fun when you're doing it.
Now, Jagger, last year, obviously not an exactly a normal season when it comes to a WHL season, but you were able to play 23 games with the Moose Jaw Warriors. And in that span, you put up a decent amount of points as well. Did that sort of give yourself some new expectations heading into this season?
Yeah, obviously the past season obviously was just 24 games, a little bubble, which is good to get that a little toe in the water there. But coming into this season, obviously in the off season, I worked on a lot of stuff, and I tried to work my hardest at that part of my game. And I think just coming in here, getting to know everyone. Obviously, we have a great group of guys here, and it's super fun. Everyone's super fun to be around. It's awesome to be here, and there's no better place right now.
And last season, you also played a number of games in the U18 AAA League, playing here in Lloydminster. Jagger, you were able to put up quite a few points there, quite a few points in your rookie year in that U18 League. Now, did you sort of feel like it was your time to move up to junior, like you were ready to take that next step?
Yeah, obviously, I was super lucky with this kind of organization. They're really good to their young guys. So coming up, I think I played 12 games when I was 15. So it was pretty cool. And obviously, not a lot of people get to do that. So I was super happy and super fortunate to be here. And obviously, it's good to get a little bit of kind of get your toe in the water to get going in the WHL.
And Jagger, obviously, you are in the middle of the regular season, so don't want to jump too far ahead, but the NHL Central Scouting has you ranked number 33 for North American skaters at this upcoming NHL draft coming at the beginning of July. Now, is the NHL draft something that you have thought about throughout this year?
Yeah, obviously, it's on your mind. Yeah, a lot of people ask you about it, and you got to kind of put that in the back of your head, though. Obviously, it's quite a ways away still. So you just got to go into each game not thinking about that, not thinking what other people are thinking of you. You got to do it for yourself and making sure that you're trying to put the expectations on yourself, not everyone else trying to follow their expectations.
Now, guys like Ryder Korzak or Damon Hunt, teammates of yours currently have gone through this process. That is the NHL draft. Now, have any guys like that sort of taken you under their wing or had any advice for you?
Yeah, I'm fortunate because I live with Ryder Korzak, so I talked to him quite a bit about that kind of stuff. Not really about the draft, but just how cool it was and how it's obviously NHL draft, so it's pretty cool. You got to be happy that you're even in those kind of conversations. So you gotta remember that it's not everything in the world though. If you don't get drafted, it's not the biggest deal. But if you do get drafted, you got to be happy whether it's early in the draft, whether it's late. It's obviously it's a thing that you dream as a kid, and it's hopefully it goes well this year for me.
And Jagger, just to sort of piggyback onto your point there, I heard earlier this year, getting drafted, obviously a huge feather in your cap. However, it's really just a way to open the door. You haven't actually made any team just by getting drafted.
Yeah, exactly. It's not you haven't made the NHL once you get drafted. I think that's where you have to take another step, and that's where I think a lot of people they don't make it because of that. They get too comfortable with getting drafted. So obviously, I'm gonna once if I do get drafted, it's really cool. If I don't, then I just got to work harder in the summer. And even if I do, I got to make sure that I keep working because there's obviously a lot of people in the world that are really good at hockey. So I'm not the only person that's gonna get drafted.
Well, Jagger, thank you so much for taking this time and joining me. This was Jagger Furcus, forward for the Moose Jaw Warriors.
Transitioning from ice at the rink to ice outside, let's check in with Jasmine King for another look at weather.
Thank you, Tate. Yes, still very icy out there. I know I'm going to be sure not to slip on anything when I go out later and put some salt down later. But right now, looking at temperatures around the central regions of both Alberta and Saskatchewan, Edmonton is at -6. Rocky Mountain House and Red Deer are at 0. Athabasca is at 12, where Whitecourt is at -2. And then Jasper and Edson are both sitting in the positives at 4 and 3 respectively. And looking over to the Saskatchewan side, that's when we get colder. Meadow Lake and Prince Albert are at -17, Melfort at -19, and then Saskatoon is at -13. North Battleford is at -14, so our program's working now. They're at -14 there. And looking into the northern parts of the provinces, we can see those -20s are pretty much throughout the whole upper area. Buffalo, Narrows, La Ronge, South End, and La Loche are all at -21. Uranium City and Stony Rapids are at -26, and Wollaston Lake is at -23. And on the Alberta side, they do get a bit warmer in certain spots. Grand Prairie at -7, Peace River at -14, where Slave Lake is at -10, but in Fort Chipewyan, they're down at -23 degrees, and High Level is at -20. But looking into the southern parts of the provinces, there is a bunch of positives here in Alberta. We can see Banff at 2, Calgary at 4, Lethbridge at 7, Medicine Hat at 3, and then Coronation is down at -7 degrees, as well as Swift Current. And then Yorkton at -17, where Regina is at -11, Nestavant is at -10. But looking into your national forecast, we can see that in Winnipeg they have a bit of snow right now at -10 degrees. Quebec City is at -20, where Toronto is at -11, and then Halifax is sitting at -14 degrees. So they are still a bit colder out there in the east. Vancouver is nice at 7 degrees. Whitehorse is at 1, and Yellowknife is all the way down at -30. But as we look into your overnight temperatures, it's getting back to those cold temperatures that we kind of skipped out for about a day, but we're not in that freezing cold warning anymore, or the ice warning, so we don't have to worry too much about that. But we can see there still is going to be snow and ice going on throughout most of the region tonight, so you just have to be aware of that when you are heading out tomorrow morning or just before you head to bed. But as we look into your 7-day forecast, like I mentioned, tomorrow is going to have that snow. Sunday will also have it as well, with the high of 4 degrees, Monday -11, and then heading into next week, we are in those single digits throughout most of it, -8 on Tuesday, and then around a 50% chance that we will be seeing some snow on Wednesday with a high of 2. Thursday and Friday have a high of -5, so we're close to our averages for this time of year. Our temperatures on Monday are a lot closer to that, but we are going to be fine throughout the weekend. Not too cold, but that snow is what might hit us. But that's a first look at your 7-day forecast, and we'll have more news coming up after the break.
Today I'm joined by Sean Cashel from Culligan Water World here in Lloydminster, and he's here to talk about the success of some of their fundraising efforts in 2021, while also providing a look ahead to the future for all that they have planned in 2022. Before we go any further though, Sean, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Kicking things off then, let's start with what's been and past. Could I just get you to tell our viewers a little bit about the Culligan Community Fund and all that it's accomplished so far?
Yeah, so it's actually a funny story. The whole idea started from a bad advertising idea. I was talking with a friend of mine that does some advertising in town, and I had this idea to do some advertising just around town with certain things, signage and stuff. And he's like, Sean, we can do better than this. Like, he's like, come back to me in a week, think outside the box, and really challenge me. So I said, one of the things that we've had as a family-owned dealership here is we were open all through the pandemic. We were working, we were delivering water, putting in treatment systems, helping out our community, and fully staffed and everything. So I started thinking, one of our core responsibilities here is just to make sure that the community is taken care of, and being open all through 2019, 2020, like this whole COVID thing. I said, there's got to be a way that we can help out. I was over at our coin op one day, just cleaning it out, and there's 3 or 4 people came in using the same machine, and it just kind of just clicked. I said, why don't we start a community fund? So you start thinking and talking with people within our dealership here. My brother's the owner, so it's nice that it's, like I said, it's that family owned, and we went from, how can we do this, to within a couple hours saying, this is going to be awesome. So that's really how the community fund came about, was really a bad advertising idea and turning it into, hey, let's make sure that we can give back to the community. And that's how we decided on, we only have one RO machine. It's got its own little wall. We can put up some advertising, and we really just grew it from there.
And switching to the future then, I know you have a couple of beneficiaries lined up for the next couple of months, but can I also get you to touch base on some of your fundraising options as well?
Yeah, so with it, every dollar that goes into that one RO machine, it goes right back to the community. So we're tracking it, well, sometimes daily, but usually weekly. And in 2021, so last year, just in the 7 months, because we only started in June, we raised over $11,000 that really it's the community that really put that money into it, and we just give it right back to charities. So we did Bike for Breakfast, the SPCA, and then moving into 2022, for January, we have the Kinsmen lined up right now, and I know their steak night is coming up right away. But when we talk to them, the whole idea of this is how can we help the community? And they have their building, and it doesn't have the best access right now. So they're looking to build some wheelchair accessibility to it. So I said, like, why don't we start it? Like, let's get a jump start on it. All the funds from January go to that.
And then lastly, just before we close, for anyone who might be interested in maybe checking the community fund out, maybe they want to make a donation themselves, where's a good spot for them to go on the web?
Yeah, so the easiest way is take a bottle of water, whether it's like empty milk jug or like the bottles behind me over here, the big 5 gallons, those are $2. Our coin op is located in the Exhaust Masters building on the very south end, so just on 43rd Street, right by the Husky truck stop in Diamond International. Or I finally got it set up on our website. You can go to our website. There's a link for the community fund. You can click donate now, and we can contact you. Check, Visa. You can mail us a check. You can call in with a Visa, and we'll just allocate that money in. So for people that don't necessarily need to go pick up bottled water, we were trying to find a way out that if anybody wanted to donate, now we can actually do that through the website, or even just calling in and saying, hey, I'd love to donate to the community fund.
Once again, thanks so much for your time, Sean.
Yeah, thank you for having us and bringing some light to the community fund. I appreciate it.
Furniture set and design supplied by Furniture Gallery and Furniture House, downtown Lloydminster.
Taking the time out of her day to join us for this week's entertainment panel is the classic Abby St. John. Thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us.
Of course, no worries.
Now, starting off, so much is happening in this Marvel universe, the MCU, and then we have some more already coming out. We had some great news coming out earlier on in the week about Oscar Isaac, that he's going to be playing now Moon Knight, and there was a trailer that even released. Now this already looks a little bit freaky and a bit darker from looking at the trailer if anyone has watched it, but I think Marvel fans are going to be excited to be able to see this because, you know, personally for me that hasn't read the comics, I had no idea who Moon Knight was, but for the comic fans out there and people that have heard about this kind of like hero, anti-hero here in the MCU that's coming out now, it looks a lot darker, especially in the trailer, because it looks like Oscar Isaac is embracing the madness literally.
Yes, yes. This has a darker feel to it. It's a new character that we haven't been introduced to yet in the MCU. So that's very exciting just in itself. We get a new character. You don't have to watch any other shows to get into this, which is nice, and it sets up for more newer characters that we're going to see down the line. But it is a darker feel to it just by watching the trailer. It's a lot more psychological, definitely, because the character that Oscar Isaac plays, he has multiple personalities. You know, he is Mark Spector, but he also he puts on these different personas and these different people, and the way the trailer makes it out to be, it seems like he really fights for what's real and what's a dream. He doesn't really know what's going on, and he's kind of, it's coming to the surface more and more as the trailer went on. And we learn that he becomes Moon Knight, which is comes from an Egyptian god named Khonshu, and he develops these superhuman-like powers, and he becomes an anti-hero. That's who he is. So it definitely is going to be darker than what we've seen in the past with the actual real heroes like Captain America. This is more darker, and he is a hero, but in a darker sense, kind of like a Batman type persona. He's more of that darker character who has these psychological issues that he's trying to unwrap. So like you said, he does kind of feed into that madness, and he takes on the persona of Moon Knight, and fights those bad guys, but he has a little bit more of a darker aspect to it, and sometimes it doesn't seem like he knows entirely what's going on and what's real and what's not. So I think this is going to be a fantastic series and a deeper look into a character that we haven't seen on screen yet.
I'm definitely excited as well, especially for Oscar Isaac that's going to be playing this character, because so many people have seen him in so many different projects recently, and they've really seen his true talent when it comes to acting. And from the trailer, yeah, it looks like he's embracing that madness as well. I know some people were saying they were a little worried about the CGI and like kind of the editing when it came to his costumes. I mean, yeah, like his outfit so far for Moon Knight, but hopefully it won't be all like that throughout the series or the movie, so hopefully it won't be like that people will think that it's like really looking really fake, but I think it's just kind of the first glimpse that people are a little bit worried, but you never know how it's going to be. I think it's still going to be great once it comes out, and I'm really excited to see what's all involved. And something else that did come out this week was the first official trailer for Bel-Air, and we've gotten a lot of stuff coming out recently, so I think everybody's excited throughout this pandemic and throughout winter to be able to have something like this, to be able to watch at home and be able to enjoy like all these projects coming out. But this one is for Bel-Air, and it was released on Monday. It's supposed to be streaming on February 13th, I think it said there. And it's going to be interesting from the first trailer already, just seeing like a fresh new look of what they're doing with Bel-Air like 30 years later.
Yeah, a while ago we had mentioned that it had been announced that this was going to happen, but we didn't have much to go on other than the fact that it was going to take more serious and darker looks into the issues that Will had faced in West Philly, and going over to Bel-Air, that big huge switch between his life. It's darker. You get a darker feel kind of off the bat. They show the basketball court fight that is in the theme song that made it so that he went to Bel-Air, but it's darker. It deals with gangs, it deals with police brutality, it deals with all of that, and he ends up being targeted for that fight that goes down at the basketball court. So that is why he's moving to Bel-Air. It's for his safety, and now he's in a fight of fitting in a different world that he has never been a part of. You know, he experiences the differences between West Philly and Bel Air right off the bat, just pulling up to his uncle and aunt's house. You know, he deals with different challenges, you know, the prep school, rich kids who, you know, have never really faced the issues that he had dealt with in West Philly. So that really takes a toll on his, you know, psyche and what he does to, you know, fit in but not lose who he is and what he grew up with. So a lot of internal challenges that he'll have to face on top of the external challenges that he has to face as well. So it's going to be interesting. I like that they're, you know, taking a little bit more of a darker turn with this show, and I'm very excited to see what it is. It's definitely don't expect the same type of sitcom feel, because it's not. It'll have that comedy aspect, but it is going to dive deeper into the darker challenges that he has faced in his real life.
Yeah, I agree. I'm glad it is taking a kind of a darker turn as well. You know, some of those issues, you know, you have no choice but to take a darker turn on it. Like, it's hard to kind of make light of those situations, and I'm glad they're going to be able to face those issues inside this series and be able to kind of show people like what exactly it's all about. And yeah, exactly, of him like transitioning to that lifestyle from being kind of like in the ghetto and being like used to it and getting used to all the rich kids, of course. So I think it's going to be interesting. It's going to give a lot of people some perspective on his life and everything, and I'm glad that they're going to be able to come out with this 30 years later, and hopefully everybody will be able to, that were fans of the original Fresh Prince, that they take a good look at this series. But unfortunately, that's all the time we have for now for this week's entertainment panel. Thanks again so much for joining us today, Abby.
Of course, thank you.
Get out your blue suede shoes and make tracks for Vermilion. Tomorrow night, the music of Elvis will be brought to the Royal Canadian Legion Vermilion branch. An Elvis impersonator is going to be coming to town, and maybe you're going to hear Heartbreak Hotel or Don't Be Cruel or Jailhouse Rock, but some great live music, a great night out, and tickets at $20. You can get them now by stopping by the Legion in Vermilion. Now is the time for you to get your tickets for Swimming and Snowflakes coming up at the BioQueen Aquatic Center on Saturday, January the 29th. The pool, it'll be transformed into a winter wonderland. There's going to be a DJ, there's going to be different lighting, there's going to be free hot chocolate, crafts, and so much more. Plus, they have 2 time slots, 5:30 p.m. and 7:30 p.m. Tickets just $10, but get yours now before they're gone. Stop by the BioQueen Aquatic Center to get your ticket. Support a great cause and get a delicious supper delivered right to your front door for the entire family. Telemiracle Steak Night is coming up on Saturday, February the 5th. A steak supper delivered right to your front door, and you can even order your kids a meal as well, and that'll be delivered too. Plus, as a part of the evening, there's going to be some live entertainment live stream from Bud's Busted 9 Irons. And another way that you can support Telemiracle Steak Night is by placing a bid in an online auction they'll be running that evening as well. Saturday, February the 5th, circle it on your calendar and get your ticket now so that you know you've got a delicious meal coming your way that evening. Just get in touch with any member of the Lloydminster Kinsman Club or the Connect Club of Lloydminster. Well, whatever you choose to do this weekend, we hope you stay safe and stay healthy.
What's Happening is brought to you by Northern Factory Workwear, Circle Drive East, Saskatoon, and Highway 17 South, Lloydminster.